Trump's policies are inflationary, okay, just like the Democrats are, but he's spending it on different stuff. Trump's policies spend money on, if they're implemented properly, on growing the economy.
Welcome to the Morning Markets and Metals with Vince Lanci, where each morning Vince brings you the financial and precious metals news to get you ready for your day. And now, here's Vince.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vince Lanci. Today's market rundown, we'll be going over the U.S. presidential election results and their implications for markets. Donald Trump was elected the 47th president of the United States. Fox News declared victory for the former president hours ago, and AP conceded at about 5:30 in the morning when they confirmed that he successfully flipped the battleground state of Wisconsin. So we'll cover these and we'll cover the market's reactions to them and the implications as well. For the moment, let's go through it. There's a front page. We'll have to update all that after all the election is over. That's great. Tier 1 assets and manipulation, we'll do something again later this week on that. All right. Before we get to the markets, there's the discussion that we'll be having, and we'll talk about how the implications for gold and silver as well over the next 4 years, and how to look at the markets that are related to them. All right, the dollar is up a whopping 177, up 1.71% at 105.22. 10-year yields are equally higher, up 19 basis points at 4 points, up 4.63%, which is unheard of, at 447. Despite this, or maybe because of this, the S&P 500 is 5,914, up 1,200 points, over 1,000 Dow points too. That's 2%. The VIX crushed, down 23%. Volatility is down 4.7% from 21 and change down to 15 and change. Gold actually not doing as bad as I thought it would, given those numbers up top there. 2706, 2707, down 36 and change. It really didn't get started. It really didn't start to truly weaken until Europe. Silver, 31.92, down 70 cents, down 2.2%. Copper, 4.30, down 14 cents, down 3%. WTI, 71.40, down a buck, probably moving on the dollar. Natural gas, 241, up 3 cents. Bitcoin, a big winner, up almost 8% at 74,751. Ethereum, up 9%, bigger percentage, but 26.48, up 226. Palladium, down 27. Platinum, down 16. And grains are all down, soy down the most. All right, before we move on to the actual news, just to give you a little framework. The dollar is stronger because Trump's policies are bullish for the dollar because of the tariff concept. 10-year yields are higher because his policies are expected to cause our deficit to rise. So he's going to spend money to grow the economy. So the longer term yields go up. If you want, you can look at it like this as well. The artificial repression on long-term yields is going to ease off and the market will steepen. Okay. People are taking their money out of bonds and putting it into stocks now. That's what's going on. The S&P 500 is up, significantly. That's a comment on, well, it's a comment. Pundits are going to tell you it's a comment on, it's a reaction. Trump's stuff is doing better. Like, was Elon Musk and Tesla are up like 13 or 14%. I'll throw something else a little different, but a little bit, I think, relevant. This is capitalism. What I mean is the spirits of people investing had been really, even though the markets were doing great, right, had been repressed in all the classic corporate businesses. And I think this is a return to that. I'm sure some industries are doing very poorly right now. Gold. Well, gold's move today is entirely, the selling is entirely people getting out because uncertainty has been alleviated. It's not growing, it's shrinking. Silver is down and copper is down, so that's in sympathy. But you'll notice that copper is down more than silver today. And people look at this and they look at China and they say, well, the dollar's going to get stronger. China's yuan's going to be weaker against it, and the buying power for American assets is going to drop. Stronger dollar. These things are moving because people who buy them, like China, like copper, not talking about silver, are going to have less money to buy them now. WTI, hard to say. It's probably in sympathy with the dollar. It's been under pressure anyway, but we'll see how that goes. Bitcoin, that's a direct proxy on something that Trump has been doing. He's been courting the crypto vote, even talking about potentially having a strategic reserve of Bitcoin, which we just shouldn't advertise it. And that's why the markets are doing what they're doing today. We're going to talk about why they might be doing even more soon. Okay, the election itself. Donald Trump was elected the 47th president by the American people, not the American media, not the American corporations, the people. Fox News declared victory for the former president hours ago, and now AP, as I mentioned, has confirmed he successfully flipped the battleground state of Wisconsin. That battleground state win pushed his electoral votes over the 270 threshold, making it official, securing his return to the White House. Going through the other races conceptually, the Senate, as expected, has flipped to the Republicans, which currently a 51-49 GOP majority could dramatically expand with Trump-fueled victories. So it was 51-49. It could get stronger. This would be a mandate. If the current numbers hold, Republicans could be looking at a 56-44 majority, the most in nearly a century. Not even the most optimistic Republicans predicted that. Seriously, it's pretty big. Taking a look at this map here, you see the ones with diagonal lines through them. Those are the states that flipped. Okay, so Georgia flipped Republican, Pennsylvania flipped Republican, Wisconsin flipped Republican, and Michigan is leading Republican, but it's not necessarily flipped yet, at least as of this. I think this is at 5:30 in the morning. Anyway, so you could see what's going on here. And you know what? The epicenter of all this, I'll show you, is down here. It's basically East Texas all the way to North Carolina. This whole area here really made a big difference. Okay. The big Senate majority will give Trump a real chance to enact his agenda, which is why markets are doing what they're doing, and get his cabinet confirmed without major issues. Furthermore, Trump may be able to add to the 6-3 Supreme Court majority that he built from 2017 to 2021. The battle for the House is still too close to call. That would be the thing that makes it completely a lock for him to do what he wants to do. But it's too close to call yet. Johnson could fulfill his prediction and keep the House majority, giving Republicans a trifecta for the next 2 years at least. All right. So this map here, this is a map of by areas or counties, electoral votes, state maps. The bigger the red, the more the shift. So everything that is basically in black didn't change. Okay. Everything that is in blue changed towards the Democrats. Everything that is in red changed towards the Republicans. It's amazing. That's a shift from 2020. This is what I'm talking about. From Texas over to North Carolina. Look at that red, except for whatever that is in there. But look at all this red in here, coming in here, right? Okay, this is It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because, you know, 5, 6 years ago, someone had mentioned to me that immigration is going to change the South blue again, or make it progressive blue, for lack of a better word. And I asked why. This person really understood their business on this. They said, well, as the current class of Latinos, as the current American Latinos move up the economic scale, as they go from poor to running their own business to, as they move up, they become more conservative. And their increased success is losing the Latino vote in the South for Republicans, right? You could see that with, like, example will be Cubans, right? They come over, they're leaving communism, right away they're voting Republican. And the black vote, this is like 5 or 6 years ago, this person said this to me. The black vote is also falling away because there's a kind of resurgence of a black middle class. This is 5 or 6 years ago. And that person said the US needs to import votes now. Anyway, I dismissed what they were saying, but spot on. All the Latino communities in the South are going Republican now. Anyway, uh, these things have big implications for the economy and precious metals by proxy. We'll touch on those in a second. Recapping some of the takeaways in this little breakdown here. Latinos swung dramatically to Trump. Okay, Harris got more white women and more college graduates to vote for her. The abortion issue wasn't that important this year. The economy was. The battle for the House is going to be basically go to overtime. AP, which is, biased but objective, projected Trump winning a staggering 23% of black men nationwide. This is like men won this election, you know, and I think black men are probably in some part tired of being condescended to. Good for them. Uh, it's kind of remarkable given the influx of Democratic voting immigrants in the past few years, or perhaps it makes a lot of sense that when you ignore half of the nation and only focus on the winners, uh, people who vote for you, those are the winners. I guess there's implications for that. I got this in my email today. I don't know that I didn't get that. That's the AP race call, right? Uh, there they are admitting it. There's the live election updates. Donald Trump wins the U.S. presidency. That's the AP admitting it at 5:30 in the morning. 277 to 224. Uh, what can you say? The only comment I have to make, editorial or otherwise, is about the New York Times. We're in the 5 stages of death of an economic and social ideology on the left. And let me just read what the New York Times wrote today. New York Donald Trump returns to power, ushering in a new era of uncertainty. Uncertainty. No, this is uncertainty for them, right? He played on fears of immigrants and economic worries to defeat Vice President Kamala Harris, however you say it. His victory signaled the advent of isolationism, sweeping tariffs, and score settling. No, they're fear mongering. Here's a prediction. You're not asking me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The New York Times will fall. The mighty New York Times will fall over the next 4 years as its readers begin to see the light, capitalism, and thinking for themselves. Again, I predict bad things for this company, along with other mainstream media like MSNBC that do not adjust. But really, can they adjust now that they've gone all in for 16 years on an ideology that destroys our nation's fabric without looking like liars to the people that they told to do it? I don't think so. All right, let's look at the market reactions. These are daily charts, okay? So they're pretty big moves for a daily chart. There's the dollar strength. This is making America great again. This is tariffs make the dollar go up and make other currencies weaken, which, there's pros and cons to that. I'm just telling you, this is what's happening right now. 10-year yields, 10-year yields in combination with the dollar. These are the two things that will drive gold the most. Um, They're the correlations that we've always looked at, but they're going to affect the market. The 10-year yields, in my opinion, are the big problem going forward for stocks and gold going forward, not today. The dollar is a short-term item. So 10-year yields rising, forgetting about who's doing it or why it's happening, but what it does is, and this is the whole, what it does is as yields go up, if yields go up, the opportunity cost goes up. The opportunity cost goes up, um, then people don't want to own gold, right? All right, and people don't want to own stocks either. See, this is the recipe. I'm not predicting it, but this is the recipe for a stock crash. If if the 10-year yield continues to go higher, then someone's going to say, "I'm going to take my money out of stocks and I'm going to put it into bonds." Now, if a person who's worried about inflation is looking at 10-year yields, they eventually will say 10-year yields are going higher. That will slow the economy down. That will hurt inflation more long term, and that will make it less relevant for me to own gold. That's what's going on domestically. That's domestically. Internationally, if the dollar is stronger, uh, then their currencies can't afford to buy gold. Now, that's not what happened the last 2 years, but that's potentially going to come back a little bit. Um, Now, how is Trump inflationary? Well, Trump is inflationary because tariffs are inflationary for us and deflationary for them, right? Simple logic, right? If you use tariffs to raise earnings, right? You get rid of the income tax. I mean, these are a lot of good stuff in this. Don't get me wrong. Income tax goes to zero. You get all your money from tariffs, let's say, right? Okay. So Americans, we want to buy something that's from another country, and now the price goes up a lot. The dollar goes up. Okay. Their economy slowed down. We start buying domestic, okay, because the price is so high. And that is not inflationary. That's good, okay, at first. But as it goes on over time, the American makers of products, you're not buying your BMW anymore. Now you're buying a Ford, that they start to creep their price higher to compete with it. So in the longer run, tariffs are inflationary. In the short run, for us, in the short run, they're deflationary for them. So tariffs are not going to hurt us at first if we get them. And we're probably going to get them. Let me think more about this. Well, I mean, everything else is going to react to the fact that this hurts China. So here's a couple things to think about going forward. If long-term rates continue higher, this is about gold and silver. If long-term rates continue higher, it's not going to stop central bank demand. It is, however, going to stop American normie investor demand. Going, oh, rates are high. That's the way Americans think, especially the older generation. Okay, so long-term rates are the market saying, the market's going like this. Oh shit, we're going to have inflation. And they're right. And so the bond market starts to back off because I'm not going to put my money in bonds. I'm going to put money in stocks. I'll put my money in cash. Oh, wait, the Fed's lowering rates. I'll put money in gold and I'll put money in stocks. Okay. This is why gold's not down $100. People are putting money in gold, taking it out of bonds. So what happened overseas is now happening here, just not as obvious. So the long-term bond yield going up is ultimately bearish for gold and stocks. And in the short term, it's a sign of fears of inflation. And with the Fed easing tomorrow, whenever, uh, it's going to make gold a buy again. Okay. So, you just want to be careful having an opinion long term right now. Okay. Those are the markets. That's just a quick take on the markets. Trump's policies are inflationary. Okay, just like the Democrats are, but he's spending it on different stuff. Trump's policies spend money on, if they're implemented properly, on growing the economy. So income taxes drop, tariffs go up, industry goes up, um, stocks go up. If the long-term bond yield doesn't go up, then we will have major, major problems. The economy will overheat immediately. So that's just a quick take on that. Okay. As far as levels go, all right. Preparing you for the worst. Here, we'll just put this on a weekly. Preparing you for the worst. Over the next month or two, gold should go to 2,400. Okay. Why? Because should is not the right word to use. This is people getting in. This is people getting in more aggressively, more aggressively. These people, they need to get out, and they're going to drive it to this line. And then I'm sure bullion banks will get confident and they'll start selling it again and drive it to this line. But I'm just saying the gold's going to be higher 4 years from now. But over the next month, you just, buy season, it's done. It's over. All right, silver. Silver's kind of interesting because I think what's going to happen with silver is as gold corrects, silver will start catching a bid. I don't know where that bid will come in, but I think the physical demand in silver is going to come back stronger than ever. There we go. Data on deck. So the Fed decision is tomorrow, right? The Fed's expected to cut 25 basis points. The market is probably discounting that. I don't know how, but it is given the election, but it is. So that's the big thing now. I mean, your next surprise, if there's going to be one, is Powell saying he's not going to cut, or Powell cutting 50 basis points. He's not, but you get the idea. Vince, have a great day. Congratulations. This is what we needed, I think. I really think we did as a country.
Well, thanks for watching this morning's Markets and Metals with Vince Lanci. We sure appreciate you tuning in and starting your day with us here. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Please note that this video is not intended as legal licensed financial trading advice and is to be used for informational purposes only. Please contact your financial advisor before making any decisions, and thanks for watching.